Yeah, welcome to another video of DevOps. And in this one, we are going to discuss about the Kubernetes deployment via another way. Like the earlier one, we had created parts and exposed that parts into services. So the drawback of that one is when you are exposing a pod as a service, you can't able to handle the failure of the particular pod. So if it is failed, the entire service will go down. So instead of that, to overcome that, we are going for a deployment way of doing that. So deployment is it will handle. It is what called managing the resources. So here, what we are going to do is we are creating the same thing but in another way, we are exposing the service via a deployment, and we will have multiple replicas of the particular pod. And if a pod fails, it will automatically replicate the pod, and it will handle the failing of pods. So that's what the first thing. So before getting into that, um, first I'll show like how to check the deployments. There is a thing called kubectl get deployments. So it will show you the deployments whatever we are having, right? So in this way you can check whether the deployments are there. So there is a deployment already I had did, that is product service, that is running with that three replicas it's running. Okay. So this is what we are going to do right now. And for this, what you have to do is um, command which is here like, yeah, this is what the command I'm going to use. And I'm going to use this image. This is the image I'm going to use, product service 3.0, and I'm mapping over here, and the name of the new deployment is product service demo. So I'm utilizing this one. So it will show like deployment.app slash. So the app what you had created is product service demo, like that. We can utilize that one, right? And the next, once it is done, so if you are having like in the product service code, if you are not having the environment variables properly, then you can go for setting the environment variable where you can so that manage the parts very easily. So that, to give the environment variables, there is a command for that. I'll show you that. Yeah. So this is the way to set the environment. So kubectl set env deployment slash, then your service name, then your environment variable, followed by environment variable and its value. So like that, you can set your environment variables. After that, once you are done, you have to check whether it had properly done. So you have, there is a command called describe deployment service. In that, you can use the command find str in order to find a particular string is there. So if it is there, then fine, you had all set to go, right? So after that, you have to roll out the deployment. That is, restart the deployment once again, so that it will take into effect. So this is the way you can apply the environment variables on the go. Okay. So yeah. Now we can describe the product service demo what we had created. So this is what the total product service demo we had created. And you can see like the deployment of the first revision, and the app name is a product service demo. And you can see like only one replica is running. Okay. So nothing else. There is no scaling or anything. So now we are going to scale this one up. Okay. Yeah, before that, I'll do like I'll expose this one first. So once the deployment is created, I am exposing this as a service. So this one already we had discussed about this line, right? And again, for your knowledge, I'll tell like there is a there is a flag called cluster IP, right? Type equal to cluster IP. So you can make it as cluster IP or node port. The difference between both the thing is cluster IP is an thing which is used for microservice to microservice communication basically, and in use cases like backend service connecting to the database service like that, in that scenario can utilize that, and it will use secure internal IPs it will use, and the traffic whatever reaching to the cluster IP it will make a round robin scheduling to split those things to the replicas. That's what the use of this cluster IP. And coming to this node IP, out of the cluster also you can access. Cluster in the sense in the first day we can see, in the previous video we had seen like cluster info, it had shown cloud control plane. Like outside the control plane also you can access, and moreover it is using fixed port for accessing this one, right? So that's what the difference between cluster IP and node port. So I'm exposing this one as product service demo. So I'll check once again this one where the service is there with this name. If it is there, we can delete that service. Yeah, I think product service demo is already available. So I am deleting the particular service. Okay, we'll delete it. No need to worry about that. Delete service. Then the service name product service demo. Okay, so we are deleted, right? And I'm going to expose this like product service demo. So it is exposed. Now we can see the service list again. So you have the product service demo, and likewise earlier we had it. We are going to run this one product service demo. Sorry, I didn't mention service, right? So you can access, and moreover, you need internet to have this Swagger to be online. Okay, you can see the products whatever I have there in my DB. So this is what the way a deployment works. And now what I can show you is kubectl get pods. So you can see product service demo. There is a there is only one pod is running, right? Only one. So if it is failed, then nothing to manage over there, right? So to make it good, we are going to scale it up. Okay. So with the command, I'm going to make it as yeah, there is a thing called set replicas. We are going to make the replica. Okay. We are going to make the scaling. kubectl scale, then your deployment name, deployment Scale spelling is mistaken. Deployment. Then your scale, that is deployment name, service demo, right? Service demo. Then you can have a flag called replicas equal to, we can make two replicas. Okay. So two replicas I'm making. So it is scaled right now. And now we can run the pods. You can see like product service demo is running with two replicas, right? So in this way, if one failed, another one will take over. So I'll show that one too. So I'm copying this one and I'm making like kubectl delete delete pod, and I'm deleting this particular pod. So it got deleted. So it should have one, right? But it will have the same two numbers of replicas. So whenever a pod is failing, automatically it will create another one. That's what the better way of handling with this one. That's what the difference between exposing a service, yeah, exposing a pod as a service and exposing a deployment as a service. Okay, deployment can handle the scaling and it will provide high availability. Okay, so this is one way of doing. So again, I'm going to delete the same. Yeah, no need. I'm not going to delete. We will create another one deployment. I'll close this one off. And another way of doing is by writing a YAML file and deploying the deployment, right? So this is what the YAML file I'm going to deploy. And it starts like that. Every YAML file will start with the API version as the first line. And this is was version 1. And there are so many kinds of YAML file you can create. And here the kinds, what you can have is deployment. And yeah, so many kinds are there like pods, deployment, then replica set, services, then config map, then secret, then namespace, then stateful list, then daemon set, then job, cron job, like that. So many kind of things are there. So I can show you. So this is a kind of secret. This is a kind of config map. This is a kind of deployment. This is a kind of service. So like that, you can make more number of YAML files. Okay, and metadata is the data about data. You all people know that, right? So metadata is the thing which is going to represent the particular data. So here I am naming it as product service deployment, right? So the deployment name is product service deployment, and we are going to label the particular app, that is product service. We are going to make it as product service. And coming to that, we are making the deployment with three replicas, and it will be applied to the particular app, which is product service app, right? The particular pod will get product service pod will get replicated with the three. Okay. And the next template is nothing but like it's the core image of a container or a pod. Okay, so we are going to make the template with the container name, then the particular container image, and then the image pull policy. Earlier in the command itself we had given, right, image pull policy equal to if not present, that is colon if not present means it will pull from the local Docker image what we had uploaded in the loaded in the minikube. Then the port what we are going to use is 8001, And then the environment variables I had set it over here itself. Database URL is this one. Earlier one I had told like we can use env in on the go in the command itself. We can use like that. You can give the env variables over here like secret key, whether you have a JSON key, JWT key or an API key like that. If you have say any keys you can apply over here. Then the algorithm what I had used is HS26, and the access token whatever generating, it will be available for only half an hour. That is mentioned over here. Then the product service host IP, that is UVCon. When you are running UVCon, there will be a local host IP like. So the same thing I had given the local IP, and then the UVCon port what I am going to use is 8001. And coming to the below one, I am creating the service over here. So the name of the service is product service deployment, and the app what we are going to deploy is product service app. And we are going to deploy it in the way of cluster IP. And this is what we had mentioned in the command also, right? Cluster IP type equal to cluster IP. Then we are utilizing mapping the port with 8000 to 8000. That is target port is 8000, as well as the this one service port is also 8000. Likewise, we had finished it off. So a single command we had made as a file. Earlier we had used a single command like create deployment command. Yeah. So this one we had made, and this one, both the things like exposing as well as creating we had done in a single file. Okay. So that's what the thing. And how we are going to do is we are going to use this command kubectl apply -f, then your YAML file name. So this is what we are going to do. And before that, I'm going to verify whether I think there is no deployment with this name. Hope so. Deployments. Okay. Right. Two deployments are running, product service demo and this one. And this deployment name is product service deployment. Okay. So once it is done, we will get this deployment over there. So product service deployment. So product service deployment, I think the service is already available here, so that it's recreating that service again. That's not a biggest deal. So the service is the same service what we are having again. Or else you can, if you want, I can delete that one and I can create it again. Right? Service list. Yeah, product service is there. Product service deployment. Okay, as well as we will delete this one. Delete deployment product service. Trying to get the. I'll delete the product service deployment too. Again, I will run it. Okay, so that it will create both the things newly. kubectl delete deployment product service deployment. I think this is what the name we had mentioned, right? Yeah, fine. Product service deployment. So it is deleted. Now I can run it again. So you can see like both the things are newly created. Okay. So you can see like get deployments. You can see product service deployment is done. There are three replicas as we had mentioned in the YAML file. We are having three replicas. Okay. So that's the way we can utilize this. Okay. And coming to this service, you can see like service list. You can see the product service deployment, and we are going to expose. Already it is exposed. Okay, so we are going to run this one deployment. Okay, so here you can see like deployment have type cluster IP not mean to be exposed. However, for local development, Minikube allows this. So that's what the warning actually. This says like as I had said earlier, cluster IP it will not be exposed outside of the cluster. So here we are assessing in the outside, right? That's why it's showing that. So usually we'll use node port for this. So this is the way like it is exposed, and we are assessing the product service deployment. Okay, so this is one way, and the other way you can for a corporate level deployment. If you need a corporate level deployment, we are not you won't do supposed to do like this in a single file. Instead, what you have to do is the same thing. I am not going to make a different thing, the same thing, but we can split this one up into three files. Like the major basic configuration I had made as a product config YAML file, that is the environment configuration. So environment configuration I had made it as a config map, and I had given the service course, then the service port, then the these are the datas for the config map. Whatever you had mentioned in environment variable and like yeah, you can see like this one environment variable, the datas will be pushed to this config data. Okay, and here one thing we had taken off, that is the secret, because there is a password over there in the Postgres connectivity. So I had mentioned this one over here, and here the thing is a new one you can see like type opaque. So there are a few types of secret types. So I'll mention something you can. So these are the types. Okay, so that you can take a note on this. So opaque is like our normal API keys, DB passwords, all those things can be managed with the use of opaque type. Okay, and when you are having a Kubernetes Docker registry, if you are in need of pulling an image from the private Docker, what you have in your own private Docker, then you have to use the Docker config JSON type of secret. And then for TLS, it is what for if you are deploying some TLS SSL certificate, means you can utilize this secret, and you can mention your SSL key, TLS key and TLS certificate. And coming to this basic auth, it is what the normal username password if you need to maintain. Then you can, that is Kubernetes username, like basic authentication username password, you can mention over here. And the next one is SSH. SSH in the sense, if you want to mention some private key, SSH private key of your VM or your GitHub, something like that, means you can go for this SSH. Right? So GitHub SSH key or a VM's SSH key. And coming to this service account token, again the same thing. If you are going to as a, make use of Kubernetes APSs, that is auto-generated APSs, then you can go for this one. In cloud deployments, it will be there, right? Site service account tokens and all. So this is what types are available in secret, right? Other than that, I had used the same thing, and product service. The last part of the normal deployment file, what I had shown over here, and you should run this in a particular uh, flow. Like, so first you have to apply this one config. Okay, and the second you have to apply the secret, and the third, because you have to set the environment first, then you have to provide the secret, because sometimes the secrets like GitHub secrets or the VM secrets will be available over there, right? So if it is not there, you can't able to do anything. That's why we are running the secret then. And then the deployment, so first you will create the deployment and then you will expose, right? So first we are running the deployment and then we are exposing the service, and that is what you are exposing the service at the end, right? So this is what the way you have to run. So but the thing happened, the and the output what we will get is the same one what we have got in the earlier one. So these are the ways you can make a service available over the Kubernetes. Okay, so I hope you had understood. If you have any queries, you can let me know. Yeah, take it then. Bye.